DC Fandome is right around the corner. It's coming at us next month on August 22nd, and this is going to be a huge, major event for us DC fans. We're going to get so many reveals, so much information, so much DC fun. But one of the portions of this event is going to be a Q&A. So this past week, you've been able to submit questions. If you go to, I think, questions.dcfandome.com, and the interesting thing about submitting a question is that the first thing you have to do is pick a topic. And I assume this is probably because, they're going to answer the Wonder Woman topic questions during the Wonder Woman panel. They're going to answer the Harley Quinn questions during the Harley Quinn panel, stuff like that. So they'll just, sort it out based on the panel. But the interesting thing about this is that at the very bottom of the list, the last two options are Secret Movie 1 and Secret Movie 2. So, this is crazy, especially since the last time I looked at this questions thing, those options aren't there anymore. So maybe they've been deleted, maybe they weren't supposed to be there, but this basically confirms to us that we are getting the announcement of 2 secret movies at DC Fandome. So this is some crazy news right here, and I have a few ideas of what these 2 movies could possibly be. I actually have more than 2 options. But let's jump into it. So I think Birds of Prey 2, or actually probably wouldn't have anything to do with Birds of Prey. It'd probably more likely just be Harley Quinn 2. And hopefully it would be Gotham City Sirens. I mean, if they're smart, they know that that's what fans want. We want Poison Ivy. We want Catwoman. We want them to team up with Harley Quinn in a movie. And it would just be awesome to see the Gotham City Sirens. And I've made multiple videos about the idea of this movie. And I think this is a highly likely possibility, because when they say secret movie, it basically means a DC movie that hasn't been announced yet with a release date. So, I mean, we already know that they're doing another Harley Quinn movie, but if they, give us details we're doing Gotham City Sirens, and this is when it's coming out and stuff, then I think this could be it. Now, another possibility is Man of Steel 2, which is very unlikely, but I guess it's still a slight possibility, but probably not happening, because from what we know, Henry Cavill will continue to play Superman, but just in smaller cameo roles, similar to, the Hulk. He basically won't have his own movie. So I don't think this is really going to happen, but it's possible, I guess. Then we have the New Gods movie. So it was announced a long time ago that we were getting a New Gods movie, and just the other day, I don't know if it was the director or the producer, something, mentioned that they're still working on the script and stuff. So this movie is still in active development, and especially with the Snyder Cut coming out and with us getting introduced to Darkseid on the big screen, we're probably getting the New Gods movie, which will explore more of Darkseid and Steppenwolf and maybe Granny Goodness, Big Barda, stuff like that, Mr. Miracle, stuff like that. So it's a great movie that I'd love to see, and it's been announced, and they already have a director and stuff signed on and everything, so it makes sense that they'd give this a release date, maybe give us some concept art or just a little synopsis of what the movie will be about. Then also a kind of unlikely choice would be the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad. So ever since the Snyder Cut was announced for Justice League, everybody has been rallying for the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad, because everybody's like, well, the Ayer cut was supposed to set up Justice League, so it's like a prequel, so we should get that too, and maybe even before the Snyder Cut. So I don't know, it could be announced, maybe not, but we'll have to wait and see. Then there's Batgirl. So back about a week ago, when it was announced that Michael Keaton was in talks to return as Batman in the Flash movie, it was mentioned that his character would continue on in the DCEU as a mentor to characters, for example, like Batgirl. So basically they confirmed that the Batgirl movie is still in development. It was originally going to be with Joss Whedon, but then he just couldn't figure it out and he just left the project. So I don't know if anyone's attached to the project, but it's still happening. So this could be announced maybe with some attached people. Maybe even they cast Barbara Gordon. I don't know. But then, following up on that Michael Keaton thing, Batman Beyond. This is a big thing that people have been talking about since it was announced that Michael Keaton would continue on as a mentorship role in the DCEU if he signs on to return as Batman and Bruce Wayne. And Batman Beyond is just a movie and a character that everybody wants to see. I'd love to see this because, I mean, Batman and Spider-Man are probably the two most popular of their universes. Like, Spider-Man is the most popular Marvel character, and Batman's probably the most popular DC character. But Batman Beyond is like kind of a mixture of both, because it's Batman, but he's a teenager. And that's one of the things people like about Spider-Man so much, is that he's a teenager and he's so relatable. That's what I love about him, because he's so relatable for me, because I'm a teenager as well. So Batman Beyond would definitely make a lot of money, and it would make sense if they wanted to go on with this franchise. Then there's Green Lantern Corps. So I don't know if this movie is even still in development, because we know we're getting the Green Lantern show on HBO Max. We're also getting Green Lantern with John Diggle on the CW and possibly in the Superman and Lois show. Plus, we may be getting Green Lantern at some point in the Stargirl show. Like, we've seen teases with his lantern and stuff with Alan Scott. But will this Green Lantern Corps movie actually happen? I mean, I doubt it. With so much Green Lantern stuff that's going on the small screen, I doubt that they'll actually go ahead with a movie, especially if it's, like, not connected to anything else. Like, I figured, like, maybe the HBO Max show will be connected to the movies, and then that will be it. Like, I don't think they'll make Green Lantern movies, at least not anytime soon. Then the final one here is kind of a curveball, kind of just one that I would love to see, and that is Green Arrow. I mean, especially now that the Arrow series is over, I loved it. It was probably the most popular show from the DC Arrowverse shows, other than, like, The Flash. But Stephen Amell was great as the character, and I don't know if he'd return, but if it was for a movie, I think he'd be more likely to return than he would for a cameo in a show, because, I mean, that'd just be great. I mean, Green Arrow, he's done on the TV shows, so why not bring him into live action and have him team up with Batman and all these other characters? And I just think it would be an overall great idea. But what do you guys think about this? I personally would love to see it, whether it's Stephen Amell or not. So yeah, DC Fandome is coming next month, and we are getting the announcement of 2 secret DC movies. So what do you think these 2 DC movies are going to be that are announced? What do you want to see? What do you think about my possibility options that I came up with here? And yeah, so if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and hit that subscribe button so I can keep you up to date on everything that goes on in the DC life.